This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
This is Off the Break Podcast, your podcast dedicated to current movie theater news, operations, and insights from the people that book the movies. I'm Kyle, and joining me as always is Cody and Ken.
Hello.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Hello, and welcome back.
Ooh.
Did you miss us? Probably not.
Oh, everybody missed us.
I hope so. Yeah, well, let's just kick it off then. It's a second weekend in April of a very busy April.
A super busy April, and we had a pretty okay start to Morbius. Not terrible. We'll see what weekend 2 brings us, but we've got Sonic and we've got Ambulance this week, and so a lot of pretty strong competition hitting Morbius this weekend.
Yeah, we had awesome Thursday night push for Sonic, 6.3 million for a kids movie.
For late Thursday shows.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Which is an awesome number.
We would have been there, but home projects got in the way. It's because the weather, people. Like, I planned on doing these home projects over the weekend, and a winter storm in April, thank you, Montana weather, is pushing it to the middle of the week.
Well, Sonic did great. Did you see what Ambulance did for Thursday?
No.
I'm afraid.
700,000.
Oh,
Didn't even make
no.
$1 million on
No.
Thursday.
Oh, that makes me sad. I like the Ambulance.
Oof.
Ooh. We'll get into what you like.
We'll get into it, but that's not a good.
Apparently
I
not
thought it
enough.
was going to do a bit better for a start than that. That's for sure.
Not enough. Not enough people shared your enthusiasm for Ambulance.
Apparently not. People just don't understand the genius of Jake Gyllenhaal, I guess. But here we are. This is the world we're living in.
It's changed, Kyle.
Is
Things have
Morbius-
changed.
Is Morbius still going to make more than Ambulance? That I
It's
guess
entirely possible, and
Yeah.
it should with a $700,000 opening.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it should get beat by a lot of films.
Well, regardless,
Uh-oh.
that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, at least there's multiple titles to choose from. Between Morbius and Ambulance and Sonic 2.
Yeah, but I feel like between Morbius and Ambulance, they're chasing the same demographic, like adult males.
I don't know. I mean, yes, but I think more of the competition is with Sonic 2 than Morbius. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
those crowds intersect much more than Michael Bay and Marvel fans do, I guess. Like, same
Yeah.
ages, but I don't know. I just see the demographics mushing together with Sonic and Morbius. But
And they're increasing the print count this weekend for everyone, everything, everywhere, anytime, every day, all at once.
Yeah.
everywhere except for Montana, apparently.
Yeah, they increased the print count to 40 markets, one print in each market. I don't know.
It's-
For a
It's-
clearer picture, the
better.
movie is called Everything Everywhere All at Once. For those who are
Right.
wondering what Ken is talking
But
about.
it is not everywhere. Not
Nope.
playing
It is
on everything
a few
and not at
places.
all at once.
Which is crazy because this movie, I think, is getting really great word of mouth, but it's not in many locations, and it really needs to start pushing hard.
Next week is the week. On the 15th, that's when they're going to go to their widest print plan on that. And so next week is the week.
Yeah, I hope it's really wide
Which-
because the movie does look great, and
Yeah.
this word of mouth is really encouraging
I
to
think
me.
next week is a much better week for it. So I don't mind them going small, building the word of mouth this week, and then going wide next week. Next week, you've got Fantastic Beasts, which, you know, you hope there's a lot of awareness for it, but you don't know how audiences have been burned by the last 2 films. So you just really don't know what the opening is going to be on that. Sonic will have dominated everything this week and will have a pretty strong hold, but that will take care of the kids demographic.
Sure.
And I think the only one to really get hurt by a wider opening is Ambulance, and it's already got its first week out of the way. So it's just a holdover week for that. So really, I think they positioned everything very well for a wider release next week.
Yeah, perhaps you're right. I mean, part of me complaining is because I just want to see this movie so bad. So it's from
Right.
a movie-going standpoint, I guess. But
Yeah.
I really hope that A24 is paying attention to what the word of mouth has been like, and they really make sure to push hard
I
for
think
it
that's
to happen.
why they increased the print counts and stuff when they did, is because it's gotten such positive word of mouth.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, there was this big push on social media after the initial release on 4/1 that 4/8 we're going wide, and that's what they told everybody. And now it's like 40 markets,
Liars.
Yeah.
and it's like,
Liars.
oh, the 15th is wide. It's like, yeah, we knew that with A24 they were gonna
Right.
not know exactly what they had
Yeah.
and not know how to capitalize on it. Unlike what they did with Green Knight, which didn't do well, but they got it in thousands of locations
Yeah.
at one time.
It did, I would think, as best as it could have done.
Yeah.
Because at least it was playing on screens everywhere.
And they got
Yeah.
an A24 on screen in June, which is impossible
Yeah.
in any other year.
Yeah. So that just makes me wonder then if maybe they're on the right train when it comes to releasing this one rather than trying to go all out.
Yeah, I just don't
At
think there's
one
enough
time.
screens to go all out. I think that, again, why they positioned it mid-month, why it might go a little slower, but they can always add. It can always be played down the road.
Sure.
And 422 is actually a pretty stacked week. You've got Bad Guys moving in on the Sonic crowd, and you've got Northman, and you've got Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which are still in those kind of like high-end genre type films that I think this everything plays into as well. So they are chasing the same demographics. So they're getting in before that, and they are hoping to get playthrough past that weekend. They're just wedging themselves in, I think, in the only spot this month where they really could.
Yeah, especially before Doctor Strange 2 comes out,
Right.
to where it also will be playing into this multiverse zeitgeist
Yeah, I mean,
genre that we're in.
they could have positioned it at the end of the month on the 29th of April, but Memory is on that weekend, and they're struggling to get dates because nobody wants to sacrifice a screen to open Memory that when they need it next week for Doctor Strange.
Yeah. So that one might really hurt the worst as a result.
No, just tough trying to get everything in all at once is really
Everywhere,
hard. Yeah.
all at once, all the time.
Okay, well, you're skipping the most important conversation that we've had this week
What?
with the Northman coming out on 422.
Yeah.
Has there been a good Viking movie ever made?
Oh, you know where this came up? I told Ken, I was like, we were in the car the other day. I'm like, you know what my favorite Viking movie is? And he's like, what? I'm like, 13th Warrior. And he's like, no, that has Antonio Banderas in it. I'm like, it's still the best Vikings.
Was that Vikings? I know you had me watch it, but I
No,
can't
it
remember
was
the movie
Supernatural. It was not. It was not
of
Viking.
course they were-
medieval.
yeah.
It
It was
more
not
of a
Vikings.
medieval.
They
was-
were Vikings. He was a Viking.
He was
chieftain.
a Spanish Viking.
Not him. The guys he went
Okay.
with were
Anyway.
Viking chieftains, and they were helping out
Okay.
another chief's
So then as
tribe.
rebuttal for Cody's, I'm like, How to Train Your Dragon
And I
is the best
said-
Viking movie.
Yes.
And that's saying something like
and then
this.
the second best is the sequel, and then the third best is the third movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Northman,
And,
probably.
and then I had the thought, I know they're not Vikings per se, but do the Thor movies work for this?
Norse mythology.
It's Viking-ish. It's Viking adjacent.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say Viking
it's way
adjacent.
more. It's way more Viking adjacent than 13th Warrior.
No, that has actual Vikings in it.
I'm going to look this up now, 'cause- Again,
so if Thor falls in, then the competition gets a little stiffer.
I would say so. What's it called
At
again?
least
13th Warrior.
Starring
if there's anything to
Antonio
do with
Banderas.
Yeah, but he is the 13th Warrior. He's not the. He's just an add-on. He's a Persian prince.
It does say he teams up with Vikings.
I told you, it's the best Viking movie.
Okay, then it's like 8th on the list that we just
What? No, it's number 1.
Avengers
guy
Endgame then is
the
technically
main
a Viking
chief guy
movie.
dies from poison sitting upright on the barricade having protected the village. It is badass.
Yeah, but How to Train Your Dragon
With his eyes
is
open
fun.
looking out. It's awesome.
Do they refer to them as actual Vikings, or
Yeah.
they just dress like Vikings?
No, they are Vikings.
Again, I just don't remember. I remember seeing the movie. I don't remember
when,
what happened.
When Kyle
Okay.
was new, a newbie in the office,
Okay.
Greenhorn, I made him watch
Well,
this movie.
Give us your
amongst others.
on our social media. Give us your top 5 Viking movies. If you can get to 5, you win.
You win life. There you go.
You win the contest that I just made up. All
Okay.
right.
Well, if we don't have anything else for booking strategies, I think we should talk about some release date changes,
Yeah.
because that's always a fun topic.
Yeah. Stuff happened this week. What happened, Kyle?
Well, there's an anime movie from Paramount called Paws of Fury: The Legend of Hank,
Yes.
which moved up its release date from July 22nd to July 15th, and I believe a trailer will be coming out this weekend. So we'll see what it looks
If it's
like.
from Paramount, I hope so. It'll be great to place it on Sonic.
Michael Cera and Kung Fu Dog roll. Awesome.
Yeah, sign me up. That's also on the Viking list now. Still better than 13th Warrior.
I feel like that before that Paws of Fury was positioned too close to Minions.
2 weeks is a tight window, but
Yeah.
it is summer. Summer
Yeah.
does have these where they compete all the time, and that's where
No, I think the move is good though. That's
Yeah.
what I was saying. I think it was positioned before too close
and
to
Super
Minions.
Pets is right there too, isn't it? It's the 29th.
Actually, that might be right. Let me
Yeah.
look that up. Yeah, that'll be interesting then for the month of July in terms of animated
Zero
movies.
animated movies for the entire year until April 8th, and then
Yeah.
we have 3 in 1 month.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
Getting a little tight there, guys.
just a little bit.
You can
Just a little bit.
spread these puppies out a little bit better.
Well, I'm having a hard time finding it now.
Are you checking Silver Screen Insider?
Of course
release
I am.
calendar?
Kyle meant
It's
to
technical difficulties.
Kyle meant to get an iPad, but he got a B pad instead. A Rutro.
It was very cheap. Yeah, it does look like it's coming out on the 29th of July.
Okay, so we've got 3 films in 5 weeks, 3 animated films in 5 weeks.
But nothing will release in August.
Once again, the film companies treat these dumping grounds like these actually still exist. People
Yeah.
go to the movies if it's out.
Right.
We've shown that with the last.
It's all about it's about the film. They'll go
October-
at any time if it's a good movie.
October is a dumping ground.
Yeah.
No movie that's not horror works in October, and we've shown that the 2019, and then this last
Yeah.
year, 2021, where we had some of the biggest grosses we've seen.
Right.
And it's like, no, it works. If you put out a giant blockbuster movie in August or September, people will go to it. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any difference anymore. I mean, yes, in the summer, people are not at school.
I would say the only month that maybe doesn't hold true is January. January post holidays just really is a tough time. Like nobody has money. Everybody's over the holidays. You just almost need a couple weeks to recover. And then that's why that first part of February, I think, is becoming way more lucrative.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's chiseled in stone somewhere, probably.
Yeah, but then that first opening, which was Scream this year, it was 355 and then Scream on the 14th. And Scream was a monster.
Right.
Paramount made off like bandits with that.
Yeah,
I
that's a
wonder
good
if
point.
it just depends on how strong the holiday is. Because I don't remember Christmas being hugely strong this year.
It's Spider-Man.
It wasn't bigly. Besides Spider-Man, everybody went inside.
Spider-Man opened the weekend before Christmas to $250
I'm just
million.
saying the other films that opened, like
It doesn't
all
matter.
of their gross got
It
sucked
doesn't-
out. I'm not saying that
correct.
that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it wasn't.
The second weekend,
created some
Spider-Man played for over $100 million. So it didn't matter that we had
Wasn't
American
bigly.
Underdog or Journal for Jordan. Nobody gave a crap. I mean, Sony didn't even care, and that was their movie.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly wasn't the case to where there was lots of movies that came out in Christmas that trickled into January and could
Right.
do business.
I guess that's what I was. Thank you, Kyle. You articulated it very well. That's what I was trying to get at. I didn't.
I
think
read
there
between the
was-
lines with you two.
Articulate this, Kyle.
Don't put him in that position. He's my articulator.
I don't think I win no matter what.
Oh. All right.
What
So,
else? What else?
Paws of Fury rounds out a very exciting July of family films.
Family fun time. Okay.
No kidding.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that another change that happened is the action rom-com movie, I'm assuming, called Shotgun Wedding from Lionsgate. They sold it to Amazon Prime, so it's no longer on the release calendar and probably will end up being a streaming movie if I have to guess.
I would guess so. And I'm not surprised for a number of reasons. First of all, Jennifer Lopez. Come on.
Okay.
Like after Marry Me,
Move on.
you had to no. She needs to pick a new lane in her acting abilities.
Cody, your record's broken.
I know. Number 2, this film was originally had Armie Hammer attached to it, and they had to like swap him out at the last minute. And I liked who they picked, but
Josh Duhamel.
yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoy him in a film. I just
In a film?
in a film I
In any
enjoy-
film
in
that I
any
may or
film.
may not have seen.
Yeah, I enjoy his presence, but no Jennifer Lopez. I will not be watching this on streaming.
Or in theaters or
Or in
streaming
theaters,
or no matter
anywhere.
it wasn't going to happen regardless.
I'm not surprised. Lionsgate seems like they're a company on the verge of trying to become something else.
Yes.
So
Read between the lines
read
on
between
that
the
one,
lines
folks.
on that one. But a film named Shotgun Wedding can go so many different ways. Like this title itself is awesome. Like I picture like Smoking Aces or something, where
Right.
it's or Bullet Train, but a wedding is involved.
Ah, there you go.
So I like the idea of this movie, but it's too bad it went to Prime. But
Yeah,
the
I
fact
mean,
that Amazon only bought this and not rights to Jennifer Lopez's life is good.
after
we
seeing
now
the
own your life.
after seeing The Lost City, I kind of wish that this movie could have stuck around, but I think the star power of Jennifer Lopez is kind of disintegrating.
Yeah, Lionsgate doesn't have a huge history of romantic comedies, though, do they?
No, I
Don't
mean,
think so.
They're
They had-
faith-based action and then some horror stuff.
I would say horror's a big thing, faith-based, and then they had
John Wick, which-
young adult films
previously
because they
yeah.
bought Overture, which had the Twilights and the Hunger Games, and then
Summit, yeah.
Yeah.
or Summit, yeah. And those
But that went
companies
away.
had that.
But that went away, and it was John Wick, some action stuff, and
Right. And then horror.
horror and faith-based every so often mixed in.
Oh, but they have Knives Out that they sold to Netflix.
Oh, yeah. They finally had a really good film that everybody really wanted and
That
could
had-
not wait for a sequel.
That was unlike any Lionsgate film ever to have legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they've never had that before. with
Even
film like
Lionsgate was like, wow,
What do we do with this?
Well,
Quick,
even-
sell it. Oh,
Even Twilight and the Hunger Games, they were very front-loaded films.
They
Yeah.
were.
I mean,
yeah.
totally.
Knives Out went on forever. I remember there were places that couldn't get it second run for 14 weeks. They
Yeah.
didn't play it before they closed for the pandemic.
That sounds
Right.
about right. I remember seeing it on Thanksgiving and then seeing it again during Christmas, and the screen that I was at was sold out. Like people still kept coming.
No.
They just wanted a good film. And
Yeah, it was a good film.
And it had Don Johnson in it, so how could it be bad?
It's true. So yeah, another one goes to streaming. Bummer.
Bummer. I'm not sad, though.
One that didn't go to streaming was Ambulance for this
Yeah.
weekend. Kyle
Oh,
has
Kyle.
his Glorious
I cannot
Ambulance.
wait to hear about
Ambulancia
this.
review.
This movie was a blast.
Yes.
And
Like literally, like blasts all over the
course.
place.
Unintended.
of course, because it's Michael Bay.
Okay.
Now, granted, I'm surprised I'm saying this about a Michael Bay film because despite many years of not seeing him in theaters, I still remember bad Transformer movie after bad Transformer movie, and I just am, after like, I don't know, third or fourth one, I just have been over it. But this was a welcome return of Michael Bay, I would say.
Michael Bay could make Pride and Prejudice interesting. I mean, at some point, woman would be pulling up her petticoat and pulling out some sort of explosive device.
He would find a way. This movie is able to embrace his chaotic directing style, but also restrain it at the same time, which I don't know how that's possible. And I saw the movie and witnessed it. But it's just a thrill ride from start to finish because it's just high paced. It keeps the story going. Like, it doesn't give you time to really question the logistics of things, but because of all the great action in it and the chemistry between the two leads, especially from Jake Gyllenhaal, like you just are wrapped up in it and you're into it. Like you don't care about the logistics. You're okay with, you know, sometimes a little bit of messy directing for action sequences, but for the most part, all of that stuff really lands. And Jake Gyllenhaal is just a godsend of a person.
Is it just so much shaky cam though? That'd be what I would be afraid of. Is shaky cam where you can't really see it. Like you're like, what's going on?
Yeah, the Bayisms are there, like the weird frantic camera angles, the shaky cam, the close-ups on, brand placements like Dodge Ram trucks.
Does it have the woman underneath or in front of an explosion in slow motion?
Where does
yes.
the ambulance go over her? Or
No.
Okay.
No, but there is some of those. Although I will say he did restrain from not sexualizing the female lead, which I appreciate. Like obviously she's a very attractive actress, but it wasn't, like in many of his gratuitous, exactly.
No, but if you see her in a trailer, you're like, she's a love interest. She is.
You would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good if it goes a different direction than that.
And it does, which I appreciate as well. Yeah. But I mean, between this and granted, a lot of the Bayisms don't always land. Like it still gets annoying, like the shaky cam stuff after a while. But at the same time, though, there is still creativity within it, and it can be done right if it's with the right type of movie. And I think for this movie, which is a smaller story, and that's saying a lot for Michael Bay because it still is action-packed and very blockbustery still, it manages to work for, the directing tropes that he always does.
But some of his movies have so much exposition in them, so much that you don't you have to have the action because they have to like jump from scene to scene to explain that Sean Connery was ex-special forces and now he's been in prison for 20 years. Like you gotta just say it, but no, they're robbers and they steal an ambulance and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. So the two actors, Jake Gyllenhaal and Yahya Abdul-Mateen, Yahya comes up to Jake and he's like, "Hey, you're my brother. I'm, financially in the hole. I need money to help my wife with this surgery that she has to do, but the insurance won't help me." And Jake responds with, "Well, I don't have the money, but we're about to go rob a bank in 20 minutes if you want to come and get some money. So you got to answer right now, yes or no." And then it's like, okay, fine, I'll go. And then it just spirals. And it's like Ken was saying, like all the exposition is there and whatnot. But somehow I think the actors were just really able to make it work with their chemistry and just with their natural charisma. And especially Gyllenhaal. Like he just matches with the chaos of Bay's directing so much that I just was hooked. I loved it.
Well, then what do you think is the issue for why it's maybe going to have a less weekend than what we expected?
I don't know if we talked about this last week, but we talked about it this week in the office that it's an R-rated non-horror film.
Yeah.
They just have not performed. We don't have any examples of R-rated action, R-rated comedy performing post-pandemic.
I also wonder if maybe there is still burnout from Michael Bay. I mean, there was a long time where the Transformers movies just wouldn't go away.
Literally a film full of burnouts.
Yeah. Yes, pun intended. But on top of that, he also came out with, an action movie on streaming, and people still didn't like it, even if it was on streaming and available for them. So, unfortunately, I think audiences just weren't wanting to be tricked again, and they decided to not spend their money when there's, Sonic 2 and even Morbius. But I personally liked Ambulance more than Morbius, and it seems like audiences will still go to that one over... They'll trust that Marvel brand more so than Michael Bay at this point.
There could be that. That falls on the studio for not marketing it well enough.
I guess, but that might have been an uphill battle to begin with if there was that burnout.
That's true.
Although, I mean, I wasn't suspecting the burnout to still be happening. I figured enough time had passed and the movie looked good to where audiences would give it more of a chance than what we're seeing. And I'm sure the studio probably thought that too, but now I think it's just clear that's what's happening.
When I kind of looked at it, I didn't see any spark that was like, ooh, I really need to see this movie. There wasn't any event quality about it, which
interesting.
Was a movie you had to see in theaters, but I didn't feel the urgency or the event need with it.
I mean, for me personally,
the excitement around it. I didn't feel like there was any excitement around this movie.
Not in a communal sort of way, but I tell you what, in the theater, I definitely was happy to have seen it. there.
Oh, I could imagine seeing it anywhere but a theater.
Yeah.
I feel like it lends itself to that. Maybe I was overshadowed because I was so excited for Sonic. Like, I'm so excited to take my kids to that. It's going to be one of the, a fun, big movie that I know I'm going to enjoy as well. And so that adds a little bit more excitement when I take my kids to something that I might as well enjoy. So it could just be that too, that I have kind of picked my movie for the weekend and that one wasn't it.
And it's possible the same could be for everyone else too. I mean, people do remember Sonic the Hedgehog being a good movie, and it's already on pace to be opening just as well as the first one did. So I think part of that could also just be the choosing of the two.
Right.
And it just overwhelmingly went to Sonic.
Yeah, like you were trying to counter program, but it didn't really work. Or there just wasn't enough audience there to counter program too.
Which could come into play with what you were saying about the demographics being too similar.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm the one that's the outsider who's seeing it wrong.
It could be, and it could have played. They could have maybe marketed to that more of that older audience that just isn't coming too.
Maybe. I'm not sure if that would have helped though.
No.
So this brings up my idea for our next wager, Cody.
Oh no. What?
Well, they currently have Sonic making a projected $55 million at the box office.
Yeah.
I'm willing to lower that to $50 million.
Okay.
Because I think we're going to have nice weather places other than where we live.
Yeah.
And it's spring, and people are going to avoid the movies for like the Saturday afternoon matinees, even though Sonic is going to be great. So I'll set the number at $50 million. Do you think Sonic will do more than $50 million? You do?
Yeah.
Well, if you lose...
I thought the wager was going to be, do you
No.
think it'll do more than 55?
No, I brought it down a little bit because you have been so bad at guessing this.
Oh, no.
Impossibly bad.
I think it'll do more than 50.
I don't. So if it does less
Interesting.
than $50 million,
Yeah.
I get to pick a Michael Bay directed film for you to watch.
Choose ambulance.
Is it The Rock?
No. I get to choose
Oh.
a Michael Bay directed film for you to watch.
You brought that up, and I was like, oh, I really should watch that again. I love
Oh, no,
Sean
there's
Connery.
lots of bad ones. There's lots of really bad ones.
Like what? Like what's a bad one?
Transformers The Last Night.
Oh,
It
the
is
one with
3
Mark
hours long.
Wahlberg?
It's the second one with Mark
And
Wahlberg.
Anthony Hopkins is in that one, right?
Yeah, and
He sure
Stanley,
is.
And Stanley Tucci stars as Merlin the Magician is only in the first 3 minutes. Even though he
It
was
felt like
in-
an eternity, but
even
it was
though he
3
was
minutes.
in Transformers 4 as Stanley Tucci. So,
Stanley Tucci is also a godsend.
but you only get 3 minutes of him. So, and if you win, would you like to remove a film from your
A Shenandoah?
requirements?
Yes, please.
So that's all you get is you get to
Okay.
remove one film from your requirement list.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel really good about
You
this.
feel real, 50 million,
Yeah.
huh?
Watch this movie make 49.
It's going to be
Stop it.
49.8.
Stop it. It's gonna be 60, and it's gonna be like pew pew.
I mean, it don't matter to me.
Whatever shows up on Silver Screen
I'm
Insider
gonna be
Monday
popping
morning.
champagne.
Are you?
Yeah.
On a Monday morning?
Yeah. Mimosas.
Oh, yes, actually.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Silver Screen Insider, you guys have some fun updates about that.
Yeah. So
Updates.
if you've logged on recently, you've seen that we made the announcement that Silver Screen Insider is going to be Screen Insider. And we just wanted to give a little background on that. So
So you're going from Silver Screen Insider to Screen Insider?
Yeah.
I like it. Short and to the point.
Short and to the point. So after we came out of the pandemic, us, like a lot of businesses, were like, how has our industry changed? Like, we went through a life altering,
Event.
Thank you. And it really affected our industry a lot more than a lot of others, I think. I mean, I don't know of any other industry that can completely shut down and be completely closed and then come back. Like, that's in its over 100-year history has never happened.
Yeah.
And somehow we've all survived that. So it could have fundamentally altered our industry. And so we were looking at that going like, well, how do we need to position ourselves moving forward? Because things in our industry, the changes that were happening were accelerated. The push to streaming, the less product coming to theaters, the idea of like what is theatrical movie going, what do audiences want now that they've lived 2 years at home, and what are they going to be looking for? And so
How do audiences gain the knowledge that movies
Yeah.
are back in the theaters?
Right.
How do you find that sort of advertising?
and how do you market now? Because now you've got studios that were really hurt. They're putting a lot of their money and resources into their direct to consumer streaming strategies, and they're kind of leaving the theaters in the dust. And so how do we position ourselves to be an advocate, an ally, and a leader in our industry when the studios are abandoning us to a certain extent? And so we went out and we partnered up with some other companies that had a similar goal and mission to us. And I think that the product of that partnering we were going to launch in a couple weeks is positioning ourselves so much stronger in the industry, and for movie theaters, for independently owned movie theaters, to have an ally and an advocate moving forward, because we need to adapt as everywhere else is adapting, and we do that by example. So we partnered with 2656 Marketing, who've been around for a really long time. They're very well connected in the industry. Donna and Sandy have been to cinema cons and all the other events. They've done work through the IMC, and they've just, they have so much experience marketing and bridging that gap between studios and theaters that we wanted to bring a real depth of marketing knowledge to our platform. I have a booking background and I don't do a lot of the actual marketing, but I realized moving forward that theaters are going to have to start marketing themselves. They're going to have to start going out and finding their audiences and pushing content and trying to create those lines of communication directly with new consumers out there. And to grow their audience bigger, because the studio's not going to do it for them. And it's a weird thing to say, but our industry is unique in that you could be an independent theater owner and that was one thing you didn't have to do. That was one of the give and takes you had with a studio. The studio would market, you would show the film, you would take on the cost of showing the film, they would take on the cost of marketing. Well, now as they're abandoning it, the theater now has to pick that up because nobody's doing it. So we wanted to make sure that you had depth, knowledge, and the right direction when you're starting out on your marketing adventure. So enter 2656 Marketing, and they've added so much to our platform as it is. Just really have been super insightful in how to utilize all of the copy and all of the assets that we get from the studio. Because it's one thing to get it, but it's a whole nother to actually have a plan to utilize it. And so they've been really strategic in helping us move forward in how to utilize these assets properly, how to have a plan of attack with your marketing. And so even for us, it's just been really helpful having them come on board. And then the other company we found was Screen Moguls. They are based out of the UK. So it gave us a nice international insight to what's happening in other places. But they really brought a target marketing tech background with them, because we wanted to expand the services on our platform. And we knew that marketing was going to be essential, but we wanted to take it one step further. And I feel like Screen Moguls and their target marketing platform that they're coming to the table with is really that next step forward. It takes what Donna and Sandy and us provide, and it really gives you the easiest basic step to use it and to actually go out and market. So it's the tool that you need to actually utilize these assets. So we give you the assets, we give you the background and the knowledge, and then we give you the tool to utilize it. So we're really excited to launch Screen Insider.
So say I'm the Tumbleweed Cinema in Chugwater, Oklahoma, and I am already excited by the Silver Screen Insider subscription that I have. Mm-hmm. Do I have to do anything different with my login?
Nope.
Do I have to change my bookmark for my page that I click on?
It'll be redirected.
So I don't have to change that?
No, you just have when we launch, though, you will have to update your password. That's all.
But I have to, right now I have my second cousin Bubba doing all of my social media marketing, which is Facebook ads to his friends. So you guys are saying you're
real small town.
You're going to be able to do that
Yeah.
for me?
Not only that, but on top of it, we're going to be able to make sure that you can have a wider outreach than just Bubba's close friends.
Will you?
Right. So Bubba can do a drive time, and you can maybe get people 45 minutes away outside of Bubba's friend circle.
No, it sounds like something I can do on my own, even though I'm not great at computers. But can you fire Bubba for me? Is my question.
It would be super uncomfortable. It might come with an extra charge, but I'm not above firing Bubba for you if it maintains your subscription.
We never really liked Bubba anyway.
Yeah.
But no, it would be this new website and this tool that we're calling Post Social that's going to be seen on the website. Yep. We are hoping for this to be that easy and reliable tool that you are describing, Ken, that doesn't have to have the theater owner rely on someone else to manage it for them. It's fine if you want that, but sometimes that can be difficult to accomplish, to work with someone when it comes to social media marketing. So this would be able to kind of replace that middleman if you would like.
Well, and if you're just getting into marketing and you're like, okay, I have 100 other things to do, but I know I need to post to Facebook and get followers. Like in your mind, that's all you know that you've got to do that. But then you go to Facebook and now there's like a business administration, it's Meta, it's all these things. I have to put in these credentials, I have to set this budget. What is this? What's organic versus paid posting? Like if you didn't go to school for marketing, it is a whole nother language.
Overwhelming.
And very overwhelming to deal with this. Even I struggle and I'm like, what is this? Why can't I just like put it out and have people like it?
Yeah.
But it's more complicated than that. And so what we hope to do with our system is make it super easy. So you can see the asset you want, you can post it to your social media pages, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those things, without having to go to them and download the content, re-upload it on those platforms, then pick all that stuff. We can do that all from our Post Social page. And so you don't have to log into 5 or 6 different sites. You can just be in one site. We're definitely trying to bring all the pieces together that you need and make it convenient. So you're not spending hours doing this, or you're not forgetting to do it and then having to stay up late at night and then you're posting at random times. Like, we're just trying to make this process simple so that theaters can take the baby steps needed to get into the marketing. And then as you get more comfortable, we'll have more things for you to try out. But at the core, we are there and convenient and easy to use, and that's our mission.
But it's got to be like crazy expensive, right? Because I've seen these places where you hire somebody to do your social media and they do 3 posts a month for $800, crazy amounts where it's like, no, I can do that, but then you don't do it.
Right.
So, I mean, the price is obviously high for what you get.
Well, for right now, if you sign up soon, you can maintain our 2022 price or 2021 pricing, which was $25 a month for an insider account. We will be, once we launch, increasing our prices because it has taken a lot of cost to rebuild our platform. So we will be going up to $43 an insider account per month. But if you sign up now and soon, you'll get that 2021 pricing, which is only $25 a month, which I think is a bargain for all the new stuff you're going to be getting in the next year.
Yeah, and you'll still get that rate even after the launch.
And the site that you get now is all going to be maintained. Nothing you see on the site now is going to change. It's not going away. It's not really being altered. It's all going to be there. We're just adding new exciting features onto it and a new look and a new feel. We're trying to make it easier for you to navigate too, because we have a big site. It's very complex. There's a lot of information in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been trying to make it a bit simpler for you all to be able to go your way through the website and not make it as complex as it was. So we still will have the same tools, our movie database that has all the listings of the movies and all of the film information that comes along with it. It'll still be there, but we also will make sure that it's easier to find certain information, such as early show times, ticket on sale dates, that sort of thing. We realize that those things are very important on top of other parts of it, such as run times, and we're going to make sure to have those things that you've come to know us for, but also make sure they're at the forefront.
Oh, yes.
Am I still going to be able to pull up stills and images from the movie Hustlers starring Jennifer Lopez?
Absolutely.
If they're
Okay,
if they're
great.
in there,
Perfect.
they'll stay in there.
Excellent.
Trust me, I've made sure.
Thank you, Kyle. I really appreciate that.
With this merger, I made sure that was in the contract.
That was it's really important to me that those stay there.
But yes, past releases, those assets will still be available. Right. They're not going away, and that's going to continue as we do this relaunch.
Scoreboard, very important.
Yes,
will
we
still
understand.
be downloadable. That
Yes.
is still be front and center on your dashboard. Don't worry, Scoreboard is not going away.
Yep.
I know. And new updates to the website that I saw this week. We got a new trailer.
Did we get a new trailer?
We did, from Bob's Burgers, the movie.
Oh,
And it was nice.
was it?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Bob's Burgers. It gave me that warm, fuzzy feeling when you watch the show. And yeah, I wonder if this was a trailer more so for fans than for general audiences. So I'm wondering if that might hurt it. But I feel like there's a big enough following with Bob's Burgers to where it's okay that it's for mainly the fans, especially with movies like Top Gun and Jurassic Park coming around that time.
Yeah.
And it was built as a self-fulfilling prophecy of television network audiences and then theater audiences, and they feed off of each other. Mm-hmm. But no, it looks great. It looks like an extended, very well done Bob's Burgers episode. I mean, that's what it needs to be.
Right.
You
It
can't
doesn't
go
need to
too
be
far
something
outside
more
of the
than that.
No, it just needs to be a 2-hour-long episode
Yeah, I mean,
because they're very well written. That's the
They are very well
yes,
written.
yes. I'm sure The Simpsons and South Park were of that similar nature when they had releases. A lot of the trailers probably were very dedicated for the fans, but there was just so much popularity with those shows at the time that the carryover was probably pretty good for it.
Yeah.
Outside of the fan base.
This is one of the last, I would say, network shows that you could make a film. Like a lot of the adult animated stuff now is all on streaming, and you probably wouldn't even know if they made a movie or not.
Right.
For that.
I mean, Family Guy probably could have done it, but I think the time has passed.
Yeah.
The show's still on, but I think I guess the zeitgeist of Seth MacFarlane has come and gone.
Yeah.
I think any of these shows, even popular shows, don't make sense because if it's a popular show that's on streaming, it already has a 10-hour season.
Yeah.
There's no reason to make a movie of that.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it doesn't really exist. And the cinematography is at such a high level everywhere that it doesn't change the product.
Is Rick and Morty one that's still on, or is that over?
It is.
That might be one that you could do.
That's a good point. That might be.
It's a lot of Rick and Morty though for 2 hours. I mean, that's a lot of that. If you have to really like it.
No, it's for the younger crowd. It's like when we watch shows with our kids, you're like, doesn't your head hurt after watching this?
Yeah.
Kyle's like, that's right where I live.
Sign me up.
on ADHD corner.
Still
and
a kid
he
at
can.
heart.
He's still in his 20s.
Yeah. Once I hit the 30s, that might be a different story.
I watch
Kyle,
these,
life changes.
I watch these cartoons with these
I'm not
kids,
ready.
and I almost have to put my sunglasses on. There's so much going on.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we had the
I
setup.
gotta lay
It
down.
gets annoying. I never thought I would be annoyed, but it gets annoying. And I'm
We
like,
had
you need
this-
to go downstairs.
We had the 30-second setup with the coyote painting the tunnel on the giant rock.
The classics.
And then the roadrunner runs through it. Then the train comes back down it. It was a whole setup for one joke.
Simple to the
But
point.
now it's just like boom, 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 fireworks, fireworks.
Oh, my gosh.
Used
and
to be
like
no nonsense in my cartoons.
super intricate backstories that I have to have my children explain to me. What's going on in this? Oh, Mom, in the last episode, this bad guy did this, and then they did this, and she found out about that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to watch the whole series now just to know where we're at so I can keep up with you.
Yeah, a lot of cartoons nowadays really are doing the linear story method rather than one-off episodes. And I guess if it works and the kids are on board with that, that's cool. I like that.
Maybe it's just my children that are just seeking out these shows.
Oh, maybe.
We grew up with sitcom television, Home Improvement, and Family Matters, and Step by Step, where it didn't matter which episode you watched, you were right there with them.
Yeah.
There was no change.
I know. My son wants to watch Carmen Sandiego, and I'm like, why is she bad? Well, Mommy, she was brainwashed. I'm like, how did she get brainwashed? Well, they
Were you
tricked.
not watching?
Yeah, they tricked her, and I'm like, is she bad
They
or is she
tricked her.
pretending to be bad? And she's like, no, she's brainwashed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Do I
You're
have to?
you're taking pain reliever, and
Yeah, I'm like, how about you just take this downstairs so I don't have to think about it?
apparently cartoons are more highbrow. They're more
Yeah.
intellectual and storytelling than they ever were before.
And then what did they watch? The Green Eggs and Ham.
There's a show for that?
Yeah, it's a whole TV show. And Sam I Am, he was abandoned at an orphanage, and then he has to go out. He wants to go out and find his mother, but he's actually kind of a two-faced con artist. And I was like, where is
Ooh.
this coming from? Why am I
The book
like?
has
you not-
16 pages.
Have you not read the source material?
The book has
It's
16
rich with story.
The book has 16 pages.
And the next season,
and that's it.
they're very excited because they might find Sam I Am's mom, and I'm like, you are 8 and 6 years old.
I thought this was about green eggs and ham.
This seems like
I
really
do not
adult
like them,
topics.
Sam I Am.
Now let's find your long-lost mother, Sam I Am.
Yeah.
I will give the person whoever wrote that this. Like, they saw the words, I don't want to eat this in a box, Sam I Am. And they're like, I got something.
No, they're
Seasons,
props-
multiple seasons worth of something.
That is creativity, and I applaud it.
Yeah. Do not have
we
that.
adults don't get it, but I applaud it.
No, but they had like the movie See Spot Run, but they just made one movie out of it. There's like 20 episodes of this show off of a book
Yeah.
that has 14 words in it. Repeated.
So much backstory too.
Who would have thought?
Trying to keep it all together, and I feel like unless I'm not being a good mom, unless I'm there like targeted into what's going on, like so I can have a conversation with my children about what they're watching. Like, yes, I am very interested in this.
Well,
I'm not really, but I'm trying.
Just nod and listen. They'll like that you're listening. That's all you have to do.
We're in the
I'm
right
sure.
industry, though. I mean, seeing Sonic run around and eat rings, you didn't think there would be 2, possibly 3 movies out of that.
No, that is true.
You thought only video games can go so far. Well, here we are. What a
we are.
world.
You wouldn't think James Marsden and Jim Carrey. Maybe Jim Carrey.
Maybe.
I was thinking maybe James Marsden. He did do Hop.
That is true.
So,
It's a nice Easter classic.
exactly.
It's the only Easter classic. That and Passion of the Christ. Like,
All
what are
right,
you
let's
gonna
make
pick?
our Easter list followed by our Viking list, Viking movies list. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Off the Break podcast. You can find us on all podcast platforms, and be sure to like and follow our Facebook and Instagram pages at Off the Break Podcast. And if you haven't already, go sign up for Silver Screen Insider and get those rates before our transformation happens in the coming weeks.
Big grosses this weekend for Sonic, and hopefully you get a chance to watch Ambulance and at least entertain yourself.
Maybe you should drag some people to the movie this weekend. Make sure we hit that $60 million mark. Come on, people. Let's make it happen.
Oh, you want to change it to 60 now?
No, I don't want to change it to 60. I just want that to be the number.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.